Hello, hope you guys are doing well today. It's a beautiful Sunday. I'm out in the garden. Thought I'd show, maybe make a little video about a project my wife and I started here at home. Is our dahlia garden. Kind of give a little overview. So earlier this May, would have been probably first week of May, brought the tractor out and cultivated and rototilled an area about 90 feet by 40 feet, made 18 rows, raked the rows together, added compost, put a landscape fabric down, and then of course planted the tubers. A dahlia is basically just a fancy potato. Does the same thing. The difference, of course, is dahlias or dahlias. Is it dahlia or dahlia? Dahlias sounds nicer. Dahlias make nicer flowers, but they do make potatoes as well. So they'll make a tuber underground and they'll produce flowers all the way until first frost. They'll produce flowers. My wife and I started last year with about 80 tubers, and we expanded this year. We've got about 160 different varieties. And they're starting to come in here. She's been pulling about, I want to say about a couple bouquets a day at this point. So I've got this, it's kind of like a Ghostbusters pack. It's got a spray nozzle on the end here, nice handle, and so I'm fertilizing. So dahlias love, of course they're hungry, they're going to produce flowers, and so I'm spraying a fish emulsion about once a week. Emulsion is just a fancy word for poop. So it's just diluted fish poop, and the more fish poop that these flowers get, the more flowers they produce. That's a nice one. So the idea behind this project is it could be a start of a small business for my wife. She enjoys the flowers. She's always liked spending time in the garden with the flowers, and so starting a bit of a cut flower business, selling them locally, and sell them to people who are interested in buying my honey as well. There's some markets that we'll be selling at. And also when they multiply next spring, we'll have a whole bunch of tubers, and so she's done a pretty good job labeling all of these things. So what are they all have different names. Potatoes are so much simpler. It's like Burbank or Russet. What's this one called? Shadow Cat. That's the Shadow Cat. So something that was a little bit unfortunate when I brought the tractor out to rototill and to cultivate the area. So this was just grass. There was a small, maybe a 10-foot by 20-foot garden bed in the center, and the garden bed actually, I didn't realize it at the time, it had mint planted in there. If you take a rototiller to mint, you're asking for it. There was a dahlia here until a raccoon dug it up. Now mint is taking its place. This is all mint, 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 mint. Some gladiolus, some zinnias, some strawberries I had from last year, and more mint. This is just, there's mint popping up just all over the place. So not that you would, but never take a rototiller to mint. And really, you don't even plant mint. Like, if there was ever something that you keep in a pot, it's mint. We decided to use sod in between the rows. The theory at the time was we might have fewer, what are those things called? Earwigs, fewer earwigs. So last year the earwigs were just horrendous, and we thought, well, maybe all that decaying wood, all the wood chips is really nice for the earwigs. But yeah, the earwigs are still really bad this year, which is too bad. We're using that diatomaceous earth or whatever it's called, and that's helping a bit, but you have to keep reapplying because they're earwigs and they love laying their eggs inside these little tight spaces. This one looks good, but yeah. So the other thing we had happen, which was unfortunate, I wasn't planning on installing an electric fence around the area, but we had a raccoon come in and just started digging up tubers. And one night, I think it came in and dug up 16 tubers. And the next night, it came up and dug up another 8. Of course, at that point, killed the plant. And so didn't have much choice but to put the electric fence in. And thankfully, that has solved our raccoon problem. The bees really do appreciate the flowers coming to one of my hives here, and you can tell just from the activity, just from the sound, that there is a very heavy nectar flow going on right now. And certainly some of that nectar would be coming from those dahlias. Well, there's actually been a consistent nectar flow in this part of Ontario really since the middle of May. It hasn't, with some of the weather, it's kind of been a bit touch and go, but they've been building and they've been growing consistently. This yard that I've got at home is specifically for nukes and splits. So I start the hives off here, let the queens grow up. They mate and they grow up, and then I move them out to other yards where they will collect, bring in honey. You want that cucumber, eh? There you go. That better? We don't have expectations that we're gonna make $1 off of this year. We have the idea that down the road we could maybe sell some flowers, sell some tubers, and turn it into a little business, along with the beekeeping and some other things we have going on. But I'm not quitting my day job. Contracting still pays the bills, but we both enjoy it, my wife and I. The nature of these things, whenever you start something, it always takes a lot longer. I think it's Hofstadter's law. It's kind of like Murphy's Law, but it's the idea is if you have a project in mind, it's going to take longer than you think it will. Even if you're aware of the law, it's going to take longer. So the purpose of this is just to really try. This is our startup, and we're already getting a few bouquets a day, and as long as I keep up with the fish poop, we'll be getting more and more. And of course, there's a lot involved. Everything that is good requires work, and this is one of the projects we've got going on at home. Sit. You ready? Good girl. Have a great day. Take care.